yeah, that's my team. Let's move on to the team builder. Well, just a team. I'm not gonna make two separate videos. Let's move on to the reason why I drafted Gigalith. It's an excellent check to Talonflame, and that's why I drafted it. Not really. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. It's come to a good amount of matches. I believe this is its third debut. This is its third match of the season. Considering there's 11 weeks, that's pretty decent. Mathematically, that's like a little bit over 25%. I don't really know the exact percentage. That's off the top of my head. But yeah, reading Gigalith this week, I was debating over not Salic, over Custap Berry or leftovers. But looking at his team, there really isn't a lot of things that could bring me down to Custap Berry. Like for to the checks that I'm trying to check, I mean like Heracross, maybe if he's banded. Talonflame, can't do much. Even if he's like natural gift HP grass. I mean natural gift grass, which if he was would be really weak because he's not banded in that case. Unless even if he's like SD natural gift grass, I'm not too worried about it unless I miss a Stone Edge. And yeah, it is my rocker this week. Rocky Toxic, 40 Garchomp. Earthquake, just like it hit Aggron for some damage. It will not do anything. Considering I'm base 135 attack, it's going to do very little damage, but it's non-stab, so that's to be expected. But, Stone Edge can hit his team for a reasonable amount of damage. Does a lot to Heracross. It murders the town, literally murders the Talonflame. Like, it'll be non-existent if it ever gets hit by it. And let me scroll over to his team really quick so I can compare the set. It hits Cofagrigus really hard out. I don't think. Oh, I didn't outspeed. I didn't try to speed creep it. I probably should have, but oh well. It definitely murders Slurpuff and murders Kecleon. It doesn't quite murder Azelf, depends. And it's a pretty good set overall. It hits a lot of his Pokemon really hard. Shoei's very slow, and let's just work offline. And yeah, he is pretty slow, but with its natural bulk, it's just a really good Pokemon to have, especially for Talonflame. If he's like SD Talonflame with no natural gift grass, then we're gonna be fine. And if he's just banded Talonflame, that's even better. The next Pokemon is Manectric. Yes, I'm bringing the Volt Switch Thunderbolt set because honestly, it's a pretty good set versus his team. His only immunity is the Garchomp, and if I predicted correctly with the Hidden Power Ice, then we're gonna be good to go. Toxic is for Pokemon like Garchomp. If I want to make the semi decent play, just Toxic it on the switching, that would be great. But it's mainly there for like Pokemon such as Electabuzz, Pokemon such as Gofagrigus because it won't take a lot from Volt Switch, and Kecleon will not take a lot from Volt Switch either. But I just clicked Volt Switch versus it to begin with. But this Pokemon is here because Zap Play boosted Volt Switch does a lot to an Aggron, even if he's Pidef, because Stab Volt Switch from a base 105 Pokemon boosted by Zap Plate to make it even more strong. It's pretty unbelievable. I brought it a couple times and it's done its job in terms of damage. So I'm gonna try it again, third time. Something I should mention: this prep was definitely very rushed because it was Saturday. Today's Saturday, and I built it on Saturday because I just came back from a 5K and I was pretty busy. I have the GOT tournament to worry about, the GOT, hosted by no other than Aster J. Pretty good guy, really good guy actually. So yeah, I have to worry about quite a bit of stuff. Plus, there's school. We're heading near the backstretch of the first semester, so that's almost over, thank God. And not much more to mention. Anyways, going back to our team, the main thing I'm trying to stress about Manectric. If Garchomp isn't there, if I kill it somehow, yeah, this thing does a lot of work versus this team. I I outspeed everything except Garchomp and Electabuzz because I speed type versus it, which I mean is quite unfortunate, but there's not much I can really do about that. Oh, Azelf, I don't outspeed Azelf either. Oh, and Talonflame, I don't outspeed Talonflame either, but he would have to run quite a bit of speed, and you have to have Flare Blitz to really do a good amount of damage to me. And if he's like Banded Brave Bird, it won't kill, which is great because Manectric with the resistance is just too good. Anyways, let's move on to our next Pokemon, Flame. It's a speedy defensive set this week. It's there to outspeed Heracross and Roserade because they're both base 90. And I have Will-O-Wisp Flame Charge, and not Flame Charge, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, and Morning Sun. Wild Charge is there for the Talonflame if it really comes out of hand. But if it's like bulk up, then after like one bulk up, I'm literally not going to do anything to it in terms of damage, which isn't good, but it's always there for good measure, I guess you could say. And if he's very, very bulky, like if he doesn't run any speed on his Talonflame, if he invests a lot into like Spadef, then my Arcanine will outspeed and Wild Charge will hit it for a good amount of damage. And if Rock's up in the field, it dies. So that's something to note. If he does outspeed me and does go for bulk up, I know the spread a little more. and that's great. And plus, I do have quite a bit of rock coverage, so if he does start bulking up, I should be okay, unless he has Will-O-Wisp. In that case, then we're in a bit of trouble. But that's not the point. We have Arcanine. He's rocking the odd amount of HP for Stealth Rock and such. He has enough speed outspeed base 90. Have floating to Spadef because why not? I can take hits better from Roserade if I decide to switch in onto it. And originally I had Flamethrower instead of Flitter Blitz because Flitter Blitz over will a flamethrower isn't the best case scenario because recoil and such. But I had to run it because Roserade has a great amount of special defense and has a very pitiful defense stats. So the only way I can actually OHKO is just if I run Flitter Blitz. Same goes for Heracross. So I really had no other choice in the matter. Otherwise, it would have been like Flamethrower. I wasn't gonna run Fire Blast because as a wall, I don't want to run a move that's inaccurate. It just doesn't make any sense. And Wild Charge is it also it's Blastoise somewhat hard, and I can Will-O-Wisp mostly everything on his team uh except Talonflame. And of course, his only two clerics are like Refresh Blastoise, which only heals itself, and Aromatherapy Slurpuff, which I don't think he'll bring at all. Anyways, moving on to our next Pokemon. It's a pretty defensive Scizor. First time I've actually brought like a max defense Scizor because most of the time you wouldn't need to do so because it's already so bulky on its defensive side. But as you can know, as if you notice, his team is very, very, very offensive on the physical side, like Garchomp, Heracross, Mega Aggron for that matter, because its base attack is nothing to sneeze at. He has Talonflame. He has potentially Azo because same base stats and such. Kecleon. He has Slurpuff, and that's pretty much the only reliable physical attackers for the most part. And that's quite a bit. That's more than six. I believe. Let me see. Yeah, Mega Aggron, Garchomp, Talonflame, Heracross, Azelf, and Kecleon, Sorkov. Yeah, that's seven. So yeah, I wanted something that can reliably somewhat switch into a banded Pokemon such as Banded Heracross. The only way I get to a kill by Banded Heracross is if he goes for close combat. In that case, I can pivot into Togekiss. And anything else I does literally zero to me, like Mega Horn, Knockoff, Stone Edge. It's gonna do absolutely nothing to me. So yeah, this thing is pretty good because Bullet Punch is there to clean up versus Slurpuff if it decides to go for a bullet. I'm for a Belly Drum. But looking at my team, it'll literally never be able to get a Belly Drum up for the most part. But I figured it was good because Bullet Punch plus Ice Shard does kill a Roserade. So that's always fantastic. And yeah, bringing a little Mega Scizor Palestine Court, but which has worked for me pretty well this season. But yeah, his team is actually really, really, really against Mega Scizor, like very against it, because he has a Mega Aggron plus a Garchomp, two really good counters to it, especially Mega Aggron, because with Mega Aggron, a SD Scizor could literally never win. It just can't. So I figured he would bring it. I think he would. So yeah, and this is my defogger this week, and it's my best defogger I have. Even though his two Stealth Rock users, well, all three of his Stealth Rock users get some good fire move, Fire Punch and Fire Blast and Fire Fang, etc. So I don't know. It's good to have just in case because I think I live any fire move they can go for except for like max special attack life or Fire Blast from Azelf. If that's the case, then I'm pretty sure I die. Next Pokemon is Max Defense. Togekiss, another Max Defense Pokemon, but this one does a better job because of its typing. The only way Heracross can do anything to me if he goes for like Poison Jab or Stone Edge or Rock Slide, which he has to be pretty offensive to even do a lot to me, and he has to predict. If if he is like banded, then I could potentially pivot around it. If he is just a normal Heracross, if he's Scarf, he's a lot weaker, and that's great. Air Slash always OHKOs it unless he's Cobra Berry. If he is, then I guess he lives, but he'll die to the next one. Plus, I've Thunder Wave if I really want to. If I know he's not if I know he's not Lumberry, then I'll go for Thunder Wave. Roost is for longevity. Heal Bell is just in case if he burns me because Talonflame could burn my Gigalith potentially, and if I kill it with Gigalith, I can potentially heal Bell it back up, and he's back to normal. Same goes for Paloswine. You'll see why, and even Mega Scizor if it comes down to it. So yeah, I feel like Heal Bell could be somewhat good. Originally, this is going to be like my defogger or even a Wish user because I felt like Wish could be pretty cool, but I wasn't really able to fit it because it wasn't the best. Honestly, this is probably the better defogger, but the pressure from Mega Aggro was just too much for me, especially since I was probably going to be a Stealth Rocker. Anyways, next Pokemon is the Young Swine, the last one may I mention. Since I have a Stealth Rocker with Gigalith, it's always good to bring Gigalith because that means Paloswine has a lot less pressure as a defensive wall. That can be slightly more offensive, which is what I'm doing this week. Bringing the Tank set this week with Dual Stab with Ice Shard and Earthquake, Toxic, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide for Talonflame. because otherwise I can't touch it. And Rock Slide Oko's a Talonflame unless he Will-O-Wisp, and if he does, then that's completely fine because I pressure him to click Roost, and if I get him on the Earthquake, that's fantastic. And Toxic is for Pokemon such as Gofagrius or even Talonflame. If I just want to Toxic it on his like Roost, in that case he would never beat me most likely. And but it's also there for Blastoise. I can pressure to go for Refresh if he does have it. I can Toxic everything else could get hit pretty reasonably hard by Ice Shard plus Earthquake, especially his Garchomp plus Mega Aggron. They will take a decent amount of damage from these two moves. I mean, from any of them. Anyways, that is the team builder, and we should now move on to the battle. So yeah, I'll be right back, and by right back I mean right now. Anyways, this is the match. I need to turn off music, and I gotta switch sides really quick. So yeah, you're gonna see what we lead off with turn one as I switch sides really quick. Yeah, he leads with the Azelf, and I lead with my Gigalith because I want to get my rocks up. And the only thing he could lead with that would be bad would be Roserade. And if he actually led with Roserade, that'd be a major problem because Roserade is a Pokemon I just really can't deal with really well because my Pokemon are quite weak to the combination of Grass Poison with HP Fire, especially Technician boosted. So there's not much I can really do about that. That's just natural. Anyways, he leaves with this thing. I know I live because I'm sturdy and Energy Ball cannot kill me. As I am going to go for the Stone Edge because I want to get rid of this thing. He gets a crit Energy Ball, which sucks because if you want to do some math really quick with me, that'd be great. But yeah, without the crit, this would do about 61%. And that's bad because if he wouldn't have gotten the crit, I would have not died to any move from Talonflame. Now I died to any move from Talonflame. Even if he's like not an attack invested acrobatics, I'm pretty sure I just die. So at this point I gotta switch, so I gotta go into my King Scissor just to predict something. If he clicks Fire Blast and kills me, that would be the worst case scenario. At this point I'm just gonna click Bullet Punch. I can't really predict at this point. If he switches into Talonflame, that's a problem. But he does decide to switch. He doesn't decide to switch. And yeah, Scissor picks up the first kill of the game as he goes into Roserade here. Like I said, I don't have much to do with this thing. I don't want to sack Gigalith just yet because it might be good to sack versus Pokemon such as Electabuzz or Garchomp. And I'm just going to go for Bullet Punch because like I mentioned, Bullet Punch plus Ice Shard will kill. That's the reason why I brought it for this very reason. In case you felt pressure by it and kill me with HP Fire as he does right here. Palosfine outkills with Ice Shard, which this is a Pokemon that he can't really switch in to well either because look at this team. He doesn't have an Ice Resist. That's great. He's going to go into Johnny here, and let me explain this turn right here. I figured the only reason why you would ever switch in an Electabuzz on a Piloswine is because you want to go for Magnet Rise and then just go for Focus Blast afterwards. That's my opinion. Maybe he just wanted to get damage on me with Focus Blast, but yeah, spoilers. I don't click Earthquake. I click Toxic because in the long run, if I click Toxic, Manectrix Volt Switch would still do a pretty decent amount of damage, even if he is a Violite, and that'd be great. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Toxic as yeah, he goes for Focus Blast, does a million to me because I'm not Spadef, and I go for Toxic, and this is really bad now. This is really really bad. So at this point, I went for Earthquake because I was hoping he would miss a Focus Blast if he stayed in. And yeah, as you can see in the chat, I really expected Magnet Rise. I really did. He goes into Satan here, and at this point, there's not really much I can do. I just gotta sack something, and that Pokemon is going to be the Paloswine. I sure would have been cool to have in the back, but honestly, it wasn't worth it. I'm gonna go to Arcanine here, and I'm gonna try to predict here because there's no reason to really stay in here. So yeah, I'm gonna click. I believe I click Willow, as yeah, he goes for Brave Bird, does a million because he's obviously banded, and yeah, I went for Willow predicting something to switch in, and yeah, it didn't work. So now I got to go into Togekiss. Now that he's -1, he can't do a lot to me. By the way, if he is Adam, he is Adamant Bandit, and he got the highest roll there with the Brave Bird. Something to note. So yeah, I'm going to now click something. Yeah, I click Roost because I figured he might stay in. If I would have clicked Air Slash, that would have been fantastic, but I didn't do that. As he now goes into this thing, as I click T-Wave because I know he can't Oko me with anything. I'm going to try to recover up on his Brave Bird as he gets paralyzed. If I had clicked Air Slash, that would have been pretty coal. As now, I click Air Slash to get the crit Brave Bird. If I had clicked Rooster, I would have been pretty golden. So that's bad because, let's do some more math, kids. If without the crit, I would have done about a little bit between 49 and 50%. And I would have been at a pretty decent amount of health. Garchomp would have to be forced to go for a super effective move versus me. And Heracross as well. Electivire, yeah, kind of a problem, I know. But at least it's toxic, and none of my Pokemon outspeed it potentially if I don't win the speed type Manectric and such. So yeah, I'm low. He's gonna go into this thing. I have no other choice but to switch into my shiny boy. As he goes for Rock Slide, I actually find out he's Moxie here, which at this point I figured I thought I had lost the match at this point. So I'm gonna go into my Arcanine, hope to scare him out, and I actually do. I didn't think I actually would because I'm pretty sure Rock Slide just killed me. But I don't know. Maybe if I was max defense, it didn't kill me. So yeah, now he's gonna stay in. He's gonna go for Focus Blast, hit another Focus Blast. As I go for Willow, predicting the switch again, I figured he wouldn't stay in here because this thing could potentially clean up my team. So now I'm just gonna go for Morning Sun because at this point he seems to want to kill me. And yeah, I'm gonna go for Morning Sun. I'm gonna go up to about 59% after leftovers, and I'm just gonna go for the Morning Sun again as he finally misses the Focus Blast. First thing of RNG to finally go in my favor in this match, honestly. So yes, that's fine. That's fantastic. Now at this point, I figured he would click T-Bolt because it's accurate and it will hit my Arcanine really hard. But he goes for Focus Blast again, and I don't know why. I don't know why you would do that. Because Thunderbolt after stab actually does more than Focus Blast. Because it's 135 after stab. So I'm like, why would you do that? I don't understand. You could have missed. You could have done more damage, and maybe choice. I don't know. I never actually calculated. It's probably specs now that I think about it, because you're doing a lot of damage. But that's my fault. I was being really ignorant during this match. Not gonna lie. I could probably calculate it, leave it in the comment section if he actually was specs or not. Anyways, back to the match. He probably was specs. Now I think about it, I'm probably just acting like an idiot. Sorry, Turbo. Didn't mean to offend you there if I did. But yeah, I'm now down to like 1%. At this point, I'm just going to click full switch because there's no way he would stay in, but he does. And he does land the Focus Blast, and he kills me. We're now down to 2v2. Now, here's the very, very important point of the match. If he had got into his Heracross right here, he would be able to, one, stay in potentially, and that would be bad. But at this point, he led with his Garchomp. Because let me explain something. I would Will-O-Wisp the Heracross because I know he's got guts, and he would kill my. I would kill him first before he ever killed me because burn and such, and you know, and then Garchomp would come in and he would click something to win, probably Stone Edge if he has it. But at this point, I can still win because I'm gonna click Willow, and I can potentially win. But if he stays in here, and let me explain something. If he stays in here, if okay, I'm getting my tongue twisted. If he stays in here, and I land a Will-O-Wisp, I believe I win the game because it depends if he's Choice Scarf or not. If he's Life Orb like I mentioned in a team builder, then he wins, I believe. So I'm gonna go for Willow. He stays in, goes for Earthquake, thanks to the -1. I live. It came in clutch, and I land the Will-O-Wisp. Coming in clutch is Arcanine. Coming in clutch, very, very clutch right there. As I have to sack this thing, he does ask me after the game what I clicked here. I definitely clicked Will-O-Wisp because if he decided to switch into Heracross and I landed a Willow, it was pretty much over. So at this point, I'm gonna go for Roost and hope he doesn't have like Rock Slide and flinches me, or Stone Edge and crits me. But he turns out to be choiced, like I was hoping he would be. Unless he was just really bluffing it, but yeah, he just stays in here, continuously click Earthquake. I'm going to click T-Wave here a couple times, but that was because if he decided to switch into Heracross, I would be able to paralyze it, and I would win the game at that point. As I'm just going to click T-Wave again, as he decides to stay in here. So at this point, I literally win the game. Unless I get flinched by Rock Slide twice, I win. As he goes for Rock Slide, hoping for no flinch. I don't get flinch. The irony could have been real, but it wasn't. I go for Roost for no reason because I'm a dick and I wanted Rock Slide to do less damage. So at this point, I have to miss 3 air slashes, and he has to land 3 Rock Slides to win through paralysis, man. I mentioned. So yeah, let me just say the odds were in my favor there, and yeah, I win 1-0. Should I have won that match? I don't think so. I think I played like absolute trash. Literally, played like trash. I prepped like trash, and I won. What can I say? I didn't think I would actually win, but I did. Good game to Turbo. I'm not trying to offend you at all. You played a really good match. I had a lot of fun. And by the way, it is TurboBlaze 4. IV is 4, and that's not the point. It was a good game. I was definitely anxious. I thought I had lost midway through the game because I got crit a couple of times and I made bad plays, such as the Magnet Rise. In all reality, I probably should have clicked Earthquake because if he had Magnet Rise, so be it. But I really wanted a Toxic off so Manectric could do some work, kind of. But yeah, that didn't happen, and that was sad. But yeah, we win. Spoilers, Shiny lost, and I'm number 1 in the division. I finished number one in the division because this was the last game of the season. How do I feel? I feel pretty proud, honestly. Despite all the RNG that I had in my favor, and in this match against me, I I was number one in the division, and that's great. And in a division with Merc, Shoddy, and Makati, they had like all Ryan. Well, Shoddy and Makati does, but yeah, despite all those people being in the division, I won, and actually those three made the playoffs. So yeah, go figure. And Gareth too. I can't forget Gareth. He was undefeated for like the first like 4 games of the season. Yeah, I mean, I was in a pretty powerful division, but don't get me wrong, the other division, in my opinion, was better. It was stronger overall. But that's just my opinion. Don't crucify me on that. But anyways, if we win, I'd play either Trev or Lars, which two pretty famous battlers. So maybe they'll give me some recognition if I actually do end up winning versus either one of them. But winning against them is going to be a challenge, an absolute challenge. Like they're so good. Lars is obviously known for his great battling skills in the GBA. Trev for winning multiple MPL championships. I mean, they're both good. Both good is the understatement of the year. So yeah, I'm worried, but I'm also excited because I'm sure me and my friends. Shout out to my friends if you're watching this: Hunter, King, Flame. Not so much Matt because he's been kind of busy with who knows what. But yeah, all my friends who are there, I love you all, you guys. You're the reason why I'm even here in the GPC. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I would not have been able to get the skills or building from team builders that you guys have given me. I love all you guys, and thanks to you, I made it to the GPC playoffs in my first season. That's just amazing. That's mind-boggling. I can't believe it. I'm so proud. Thank you to all my opponents who I won against, and the two people that beat me, Makati and who's the other guy? The coach of the Lincoln Raptors, Jarbas. Yes, Jarbas. You guys are amazing. I love all you guys, and yeah, I hope for the best in the playoffs. Good luck to all y'all, and I will see you and probably my interview because I'm gonna be interviewed, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, thank you, and I love all you guys who watch me, and I hope you feel the same way because I definitely do feel that way. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Not much more to say. Number one in my division, playoffs. Yeah, au revoir and peace.